Hovermale, host of Pacific Occurrence. Today we're going to talk about backyard chickens. Our guests are from Zen Hen Pen, Graham and Kerry Clayden. Welcome.
Thank you. Hi.
Hi. You've also brought us some feathered guests, I see, which is great. So Kerry, the name Zen Hen Pen, how did that come about?
Well, we were in Australia for 3 years, and well, my school that I went to, well, we owned chickens, and we needed a coop for them, of course. And so they built a coop.
So when did you actually start making the pens here in America?
We came back in January of last year, and we started making them. We had 5 chickens in a converted playhouse, and we thought we'd get 4 more. So we built another chicken coop, and I put the coop and the chickens on Craigslist, and I sold it the same weekend. So we thought we'd build another one, and the sort of business pretty much started from there. There seemed to be a big demand for chickens and chicken coops. That's how it all came about.
Now, were you a farmer growing up?
No, I grew up in England, just west of London, in an industrial town called Slough. Didn't have anything to do with farms or chickens, never even crossed my mind about keeping chickens until we came back to America. Over in Australia, where we used to live, in Tasmania and Melbourne, they keep a lot of chickens. They call them chooks, and it's quite normal to have chickens in your back garden. And where we used to live in Tasmania, there was a lot of chickens around us, and a lot of cockerels crowing in the morning and stuff. And so I guess it must have seeped in, and you know, we thought we'd keep some chickens and have some fresh eggs when we came back to America.
And it sounds like you've gotten a lot of business as well.
There's a lot of interest on the television and in the newspaper articles at the moment, and I see Martha Stewart was on TV with keeping chickens and stuff, and saying how wonderful it was. But I think it goes along with the you know, vegetable gardening that's very popular at the moment, and keeping bees. It's a sort of a natural progression to have a few chickens in the backyard as well. And I've even sold some in San Francisco, right in the middle of the city, and all the way, especially in San Jose, it's very popular at the moment, and of course in Berkeley.
How many chickens would normally get for your backyard? Let's say, how big would your yard need to be? How many chickens fit in this coop?
The coop is designed for up to 4 chickens, is a good number. The idea of this chicken coop is that it has wheels, it has 8-inch wheels at one end, so the idea is that every 2 or 3 days you can move it around the garden. The ideal situation is that people have the chickens in the coop when they're not at home, but when they're at home, and if they're out gardening and stuff, they can let the chickens roam around in the backyard.
These particular chickens like to put themselves to bed.
Yeah, most chickens, as it gets to dusk, take themselves back to where they roost, and will put themselves into their coop, sort of settle themselves down to sleep.
If you have chickens, should you have other animals?
We have other animals. We have a cat, and the cat walks around the chickens, and it doesn't seem to bother the chickens at all. It's quite happy. It doesn't see them as food. I mean, the chickens are 6 pounds, and the cat isn't much bigger. So the cat will definitely avoid the chickens if it has a chance. Especially as the chickens tend to go around in a little group together, and the cat really is not intimidated, but it doesn't really bother the chickens at all. And same with we have a dog as well, and the dog will follow me around, and the chickens and the dog will be a couple of feet away from each other, and the dog's interested, but it doesn't snap at the chickens at all.
Well, what kind of dog is it? Is it
it's
a bird
chocolate
dog?
lab.
It's a chocolate lab, so it's a bird dog.
Yes, yeah.
Okay, so it does okay. Have you heard similar things from other people who?
I haven't heard of any domestic pets going for the chickens, and a lot of the customers that I have dogs, and I think it's just a question of the dogs and cats getting used to the chickens. Initially there's a big interest, and they're interested, but they don't usually bother them too much.
So, you know, I'm sure you have a relationship with your dog and your cat, and they're your pet. Do you have similar, like, is a chicken like a pet? Do they bond? Do they talk?
Our favourite chicken is Sandy. This is Sandy, and she's a Buff Orpington. Of all the chickens, Sandy is our favourite, and this is the one I sort of know, and I've named. The others are just Mrs. Chickens. I like Sandy because she'll always come up to you in the garden and want to be picked up, and she's always looking for some food and stuff. Anyway.
I heard Kerry has named them, and
So
you know.
this white one right here, she's Kiki. She's a
She's a leghorn.
leghorn.
A leghorn, okay.
And she lays white eggs.
What are the other ones?
So this black and white one, that's Snowball. She's a barreled rock, and she lays brown eggs.
Barreled. She kind of looks like a rock, actually, her color. And she lays brown eggs.
Yeah.
The kind of brown eggs you get at the store? That
Just-
kind of brown?
Yeah, that kind of brown.
Kind of a tan brown? Okay.
Yeah, tan. That's Fluffy right there. She's an Americana, and she lays blue, orange, and I think green eggs.
Oh, so you never know what you're going to get when you come out in the morning to find the eggs?
Yeah, it's a kind of a surprise, but we usually get green eggs.
You usually get green eggs.
Yes.
You know, I have actually seen green eggs, and they're beautiful. My friend has
Yeah,
eggs,
they're
and she
just-
shared some with
Yeah,
me.
they're just the like the aqua. Yes.
Right.
Yeah,
Yeah.
bluish, greenish color.
Bluish, greenish. Oh, very nice. Okay. How long do chickens usually live?
About 8 years is the normal length of age for a chicken. They don't lay their eggs all that time. The best egg production is in the first year. They lay about 200 eggs the first year, and it goes down about 10% every year after that. And by the time they get over 5 years old, they're not laying too many eggs.
If someone decided to get a pen and get chickens, would they get chicks first, or would they get chickens?
I'd say it was split 50-50. It's something that people usually decide. Sometimes people get given chicks, and then they have to look around for somewhere to put them. And some people really plan it. They do a lot of research. There's advantages and disadvantages to both. Obviously, if you get chickens, they call them pullets, that are just starting to lay. They're usually about 24 weeks old. You get the eggs instantly. You don't have to wait, until they grow up and start laying eggs. But if you buy chickens that are that old, you don't necessarily know where they came from, if they've been vaccinated, their history. They don't know you. So there's a bit of a disadvantage there. The advantage of having chicks is you get them from 2 or 3 days old. You can get them from a place where they've been vaccinated for Merrick's disease, so you know their history pretty much all the time, and they grow up. Especially if you've got children, they can grow up with the children, and the children can learn how to handle them, and you see them develop from little chicks.